questions from last night? Wow, lots of good questions.
I have a question on 41.
41. Uh-oh. 41. Pretty easy, actually. All we have to do on 41 is we say we have to isolate the radical. All right? So what exactly, not the radical, I meant to say the absolute value. All right? So when I want to isolate the absolute value, that means everything around it has to be gone. All right? So what do I mean by that? Look right here for me. All right? I want you to take a look at, blush, this has to be gone.
Okay.
You with me on this?
Okay.
All right, so now let me show you how I would take care of business. All right, I would first subtract 4. You with me?
Yeah.
And so now I would have negative 3 times the absolute value of q is equal to 6.
Okay.
And then the absolute value of q is equal to what?
Negative 2.
You agree?
Yeah.
So what's the answer?
Q equals negative 2 or 2. Oh, no solution.
Very good. Don't worry. No solution. Right? Because the absolute value can't equal a what?
Negative.
Can't equal a negative. So everybody agree with that? Any questions? Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
42.
All right, so let's go 42. All right. Now the reason why I expected most of you guys to have a question about this one was because it is the absolute values in the denominator. Agreed? So now, let's see if I can fix that for you easily. 4 over the absolute value of p is equal to 2. So everybody agree with that? What do you think I did?
Oh, myself.
Yes, subtracted 12 so far. Agreed? Now watch this. This is what I want you to understand. Absolute value of p over 4 equals 1/2. Somebody tell me how I did that. What did I do? Yay, very good. Reciprocals are equal. Reciprocals are equal. What do I mean by that? If I said 3 is equal to x, 1/3 is equal to 1 over x. Do I agree with that? All right, so reciprocals are equal. Now, how do I get rid of dividing by 4? Multiply by 4. So the absolute value of p is equal to what? 2, right? Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
So now everybody can tell me that p is equal to what? Plus or minus 2, right? Everybody agree?
Yeah.
You could write p equals 2 or p equals what?
Negative 2.
But we came up with a shorthand notation for that. That's what this means. This plus or minus. All right? Is everybody good with this? Now, how do I know I'm right? Well, I can check my work real quick. Let's see if I'm right. If I plug in 2, what's the absolute value of 2?
2.
4 divided by 2.
2.
2 plus 12.
14.
Do I agree with that? Now let's plug in negative 2. Absolute value of negative 2. 4 divided by 2. 2 plus 12.
14.
So am I right?
Yes.
Of course, right? Of course. Any questions with that?
No,
All right, tell me another one.
on 40, at the answer thing, I looked on it, said 5.56 or negative 5.56, but only on one.
I think it's 5.5.
Yeah, it was
5.5.
5.5.
Right here, see
Plus or minus? No, it's
On
okay. It's okay.
5.56, I saw it on the.
Well, it's okay. It should be 5.5.
Okay.
You with
And then
me?
the other one said, and then I got 2.5, and it just repeated the other one.
For 40?
Yeah, on the second, like the other answer.
Okay.
Make that-
Okay, now listen. Those solutions are from the publishing company, so I have no control over those. Right, so I've already checked some. There are a few errors. You with me? Because people don't know math. They're just typing in You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're just typing in the answers. All right, they don't know if it's correct or not. Okay, so sometimes they don't do a very good job checking their own work. Okay, so I have found mistakes. So it's good you bring that to my attention. But do you agree it's 5.5 and negative 5.5?
Yes.
Is everybody happy with that? All right. Yes, sir.
Oh, could you do 37?
Let's check out 37. All right. So I'm going to make some room for 37 now. All right, here we go with 37. A little bit of fraction, right? Shouldn't be too bad. We should be able to do a little bit of mental math here. So here we go. So I agree it's negative 1/2 b minus 2 equals 10. Negative 1/2 b minus 2 equals negative 10. Everybody good? So if I add 2, I get what? 10 plus 2 is 12. Then to do a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal, right? So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 2. So I'm expecting you guys to be able to say that's just b equals negative 24. Thank you. Does everybody agree? Put your hand up now. If you're going, man, I wish you would just show me the step. Let me show you the step. All right, here we go. Let's do that, guys. Be brave. All right, but you're also, you're also trying. You're actually trying to do the mental math. Does everybody agree with me? All right, so really focus now with me. All right, I'm going to show you, and then you're supposed to say, okay, I see the mental math. All right, I'm adding 2, which makes that negative 1/2 b is equal to 12, right? So half of what is 12? Half of 6 is 12? Half of 24. Does everybody see? That's why you do the reciprocal. You're doing the opposite. All right, instead of taking half, we're multiplying by 2. Do you agree? Does that make sense now? So you should be able to say because there's a negative, it would be negative 24, right? Everybody good? Now if I add 2 over here, it's going to be what? Negative 8, right? Half of what is 8? Half of 16, right? So b equals 16. Everybody good? That's not bad, right? Not too bad at all. Yes? Let's try 38. All right? So I'm going to clean up 38. What?
I had a problem with my calculator dividing fractions.
Okay, well, we'll try to talk about it. All right? Let's take a quick look at 38, though. All right? Let's make some room. All right, here we go. So for this, we would just say what? Negative 4d plus 6 equals 12. Negative 4d plus 6 equals negative 12. Do I agree? So can we subtract 6?
Yes.
12 minus 6 is 6, right? So it would be negative 4d equals 6. So d is equal to negative 6/4, which reduces to negative 3/2.
I get it. You simplify it.
Yes, I just simplified.
Okay.
Nice, right? You could also say negative 1.5, but generally in math we do fractions. Generally in math we do fractions. All right, now we're going to subtract 6 again. Negative 4d equals what? Negative 18. Does everybody agree? And so now d is equal to negative 18 over negative 4, which is the same as 9 over 2. Yes.
I did decimals.
I want you to use fractions. I'm not going to mark it wrong. All right? But I don't want you to write 0.3 repeating. Right? Sometimes if it's a terminating decimal, it's okay. But trust me, it's easier to work with fractions than decimals. Much, much easier. Yes, sir.
How did you get negative 6 over 4?
Because I divided 6 by 4. Sure you see that, right? Divided 6 by 4. Yes.
If let's just say you had like for this problem you had 4 divided by 9, so you
Just leave it as 4/9. Yeah, don't change the 0.4 repeating. That's what 4/9 is. All right, much easier dealing with decimals. Is everybody happy with that? Anybody have any questions? Nobody has any questions? Nothing at all. All right, in the interest of time here, all right, just put a check on the top of your paper. All right, good job. All right, now we're going to jump right into today's assignment. I need everybody to take out their calculator. All right, because today is a calculator day. If you don't have your calculator, trust me, it's not a big deal. All of your calculator, if you pull up your iPad, there's a calculator on your iPad. It's basic. Today's just basic. All right, it's nothing tricky, nothing fancy. All right, I'm just reminding you how to do percentages. Now, for me personally, I thought this was kind of in the wrong place in the chapter, but I'm really glad we're doing it. And part of the reason why I'm really glad we're doing it because it's a really, really good way of reviewing percentages. And we're going to get a more advanced percentages. All right, so I really need your attention. Really, really need your attention. All right, so with that in mind, let's head your paper. Section 2-7, page 121 through 122. You can put at the top odds. You can put at the top odds. All right, I did not have 8th grade, so tomorrow they have to do the odds and the what? Evens. Today you have to do the what? And tomorrow you're going to do the evens. There you go. Everybody with me on that? So you get a little bit of break. All right.
Would we be able to do odds?
If you do all the work, then you'll be done for tomorrow. All right, you'll be done for tomorrow. All right. Yes.
So do we do all the odds in page 121 and all the odds
No,
in
no, no. We're going to do the odds. All right. The odds today, we're going to do 1 through 41 odds. All right, 1 through 41 odds.
If we don't finish it tomorrow, let me hold it.
You're going to do the odds tonight. All right. And then we're going to do evens tomorrow. All right, so try to get the odds done. But you're right, in class tomorrow, we're just going to finish things up. I'm going to collect at the end of the day. All right, it's very simple. All right, especially for you guys because you guys are great at following directions. However, there are some advanced things on here I want to review with you. All right, there's some advanced things on here. All right, so I'm just going to blow this thing up. And if you have your calculator handy, I want you to use a calculator. All right, first of all, I'd like everybody to tell me, state whether the percent of change is percent of increase or a percent of decrease. Am I ever going to want you to write increase or decrease? And the answer is no. Why? Because if you can't tell if something's increasing or decreasing, we got to go back about 4 years. All right, probably a little bit longer. All right. So from 78 to 125, is that an increase or a decrease? Increase. So who remembers last year our unit on percent of increase? Who can tell me what the formula is to find the percent of increase? Here we go. Listen carefully.
Is it old over? It's
New over old. Is it new over old subtracted by new? Old minus new over old times 100.
Okay, I like that. Now watch, guys. Here's how I was not the absolute best at kind of remembering things or remembering formulas. So I learned to figure out the formulas. All right. So I don't really try to memorize that much. I understand everything about math, so it's easy for me to figure out the formula. All right. Let me explain to you what I want you to do now. I want everybody to look up. All right. I'm going to make a little space right here. Well, I'm going to make a little space at the bottom. Might be easier for me. All right. So right here. All right. Here's what my recommendation is for you. All right. To figure this out. So look up. Can somebody tell me first of all what percent means? Percent.
How much are they?
Out of 100. That's all it means. Out of 100. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't always have what? 100. So if you got 3 out of 4, there aren't 100 questions. So what is your percent? Well, 3/4 translates into 75 out of 100, which is 75%. Is everybody with me on this?
Yeah.
All right, so very good review. All right, so now here's what I did. I have $100. Now I have $125. Who can tell me the percent of increase? What was my percent of increase? Obviously. 25%. Everybody knows that. Does everybody agree? Now that you can obviously see that, now you can obviously figure out what the formula is. All right, because I know this is a 25% increase. So how do I figure that out? Well, from 100 to 125 is what? 25. And 25 out of 100 is what? So now I know how to figure out the answer. All right? How do I figure out what the formula is? The formula is simply the change. That's how I describe it. It's the change. Did everybody see that? I went from 100 to 125, and the answer was 25 out of 100. So it's the change divided by the what? The change divided by the original, or the old. I like to say original. All right? So the percent of increase, very, very simple. If you ever forget, you make up yourself a little problem dealing with 100. And then it's easy to see what the solution is. Is everybody with me on this now? So the percent of increase is always the what? Change. And how do I find the change? How do I find the change?
Subtract.
All you do is subtract the two numbers. All right? You just subtract the two numbers. Now, I prefer that you subtract the highest from the lowest. Everybody with me on this? All right? Because if you do 100 minus 125, you get negative 25. I don't want you confused on whether it's increase or decrease. That's why I just say subtract the two numbers. Everybody with me? All right, so we're going to subtract the two numbers, then we're going to divide it by the original amount, and that's going to give you a decimal. That's why you have to move the decimal to the right two places, which just basically means you're going to multiply by 100. All right, now this is super easy. All right, I prefer to do a lot of problems. That's why I'm asking you to use a calculator. Plus, if you don't have a calculator, you open up your iPad, you hit the calculator on the iPad, and you try to work it. All right, so bear with me. All right, so let's go back now. Now that we understand. All right, we're going to scroll down back to question number 1. All right, so I need everybody to just type in on their calculator 125 minus 78. Hit the enter button, and then divide it by 78. Somebody tell me what that works out to be. Dalton.
0.6.
So you're going to tell me what percent that is. And it says round to the nearest whole percent. I like to round to, listen to me, I like to round to the nearest tenth. All right, so we're changing that up. I don't like the whole percent. All right, so what is the number, the decimal? What decimal comes up? Point what?
Point 60.
Exactly 0.60?
2561.
Like this, right? 0.602564, right?
And then there's more.
I don't care. Because we're rounding to the tenth. The reason why I say I don't care is because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth of a percent. Does everybody understand that would be the spot that I'm looking at? So this would be equal to 60.3%. Is everybody happy with that? All right, I want you to round to the nearest tenth. All right, so now I'm on number 3. Now, I don't always expect you to use the calculator because sometimes we can do mental math. What's the change? 2 out of how many? 2 out of 6. Because it's the change divided by the original, right? Come on now. 2 out of 6 reduces to 1/3. And I want everybody in here to say, I know 1/3 is the same as 33 1/3%. Yeah, if you wrote 33.3, I'd understand. But you're smarter if you know that it's 33 1/3%. How do I know it's 33 1/3%? Because I know that 0.3 repeating is the same as what fraction? 1/3. All right, that's what we're talking about here. Somebody have any questions? If you write 30.3 on the test, I'm not going to be mad. I just want you to be super smart. So super smart would mean that you're going to write 33 1/3%. Now's the time to speak up before we get more difficult. Quick.
So, when you, so what you, I'm just a little.
Come on. It's the change. What's the change? I went from 6 to 8. What's the change? Divided by what? The original.
Yeah.
6. What's 2 divided by 6? 1/3. And 1/3 is the same as, do it on your calculator for me real quick. You'll see 2 divided by 6. You'll see exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Repeated, right?
Yeah.
Which is the same as 33 1/3%. You with me now, right? So listen, I'm not upset. I'm just trying to show sometimes. Listen, if you don't do what I say, if you don't type it on the calculator, if you can't visualize it, you need to visualize it. And what do I mean? Divide it out. And once you looked at that calculator, you're like, oh, now I know. True?
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. I don't ever want you taking my word for it. I want you to prove it. That's why I let you use a calculator, because it's quick. I don't want you to do the division. Right? But everybody should know that 1/3 is what? 0.33. You should know that. If you don't, now you do. And you're trying to put it into your brain. You have to know that. All right? If you want to be the advanced. All right? And if you don't know that, I can explain it. All right? Which is what I want you to do, is ask me a question. All right? So let's take a look at number 5. Let's see if I can help you. The distance from Phoenix to Tucson is 120 miles. The distance from Phoenix to Flagstaff is 21.7% longer. To the nearest mile, what is the distance from Phoenix to Flagstaff? So who's going to tell me how I can easily do this on my calculator? Tell me what I'm going to do.
120 divided by 2.
Now, wait a minute. Okay, so let's write this out just so I can visualize it. All right? So, from Phoenix to Tucson is 120 miles. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And then the distance from Phoenix to Flagstaff is 21.7% longer. Is everybody with me on this? So that means that technically if I wanted to draw it out, I would say from Phoenix to Flagstaff would be about 21.7% more, correct? So the average kid should say, well, I'm going to take 120, I'm going to multiply it by 0.217. So everybody do that for me. 120 times 0.217. And what is it? Come on. 26.04 miles. Do you agree?
Yes.
So it's going to be 26.04 miles what? Longer. All right, but now, is that the question? The question is, what's the distance? So what would I have to do to that 26.04? Just add it to 120. Now look, if you're not listening to me and you're not participating, you're going to be mind blown here in a few minutes. All right? So you got to be listening. I mean it, 100%. All right? So the answer would be 146.04 miles. Anybody have any problems with that? Now I'm going to show you a super easy way how to do that. Super easy. All right, is everybody good with that answer? All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to try to make a representation here. All right, so I want everybody to look up. From Phoenix to, was it T, right? And then Phoenix to F. Do you agree?
Yes.
So from here to here represented 100%, and from here to here represented 21.7%. Do you agree? So altogether, what percent was that? 121.7%. Do you agree? So I want everybody to take 120, type in 120, and I want you to multiply 120 times 1.217. Everybody do that. And now tell me, that's the actual what? 146.04. Is everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Right, so I just did it quicker, right? Because what did I understand? I understood that it was 100% plus the 21%, which is 121%. And now I just took 120 and multiplied it by that. Is everybody with me? Super important information. If you don't know that, you're going to be way behind in a few minutes. Because in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to work backwards. You have to understand that 100% plus the 21% is the what? 121% that we're talking about. Is everybody good? You have to know that. All right, that's why it's important to be able to use your calculator. All right, I don't care about the multiplication there. Do we agree? We all can do that. All right, so 5, super, super important problem. All right, and we talked about this last year, so now I'm going to take a look at number 7. You go into the store and you buy a game for $35.99, and there's a sales tax of 6.75%. So now, here's what I want. I want to know the total price. I don't want to know the tax. How do I find the total price? Whoever was listening. Patrick, what do I do?
35.99 times 1.675.
Oh, you are 99% correct. I was really good, though. Really, really good. Tell me.
0.0675 times.
Okay, that's. You understand your mistake now. Except he made a mistake with what he said also. If you combine them, you'd have the right answer. So tell him.
So it would be like 35.99 times 1.0675.
You see your mistake, right? Because you said 1.675, which would be 67.5%. Agreed? Right? So say it loud and proud.
So 35.99 times 1.065.
1.0675. Beautiful. Now look, if you don't understand that, you got to raise your hand. All right? When you pay for something, you have to pay what percent? If you don't pay 100%, you are what? Stealing. All right? You're stealing. All right? So when you go in to pay, you're going to pay 100%. However, we have to pay our taxes. And in this case, there is what? 6.75%. Who pays the 6.75%? The store? We, the people. The people pay the tax. So you have to pay 100% to buy it, and then you pay 6.75% on top of that. Does everybody agree with that? Then what does the store do with that 6.75%? They mail it off to the state. Everybody agree? All right. So that's how I'm getting 106.75%. Does everybody agree with that? All right. Now instead of typing in 106.75, we're going to type in 1.0675. So I need everybody to type in 35.99 times 1.0675. Since we're talking about money, we always round to the nearest penny. Catalina, tell me.
$38.
Does anybody agree with her?
Yeah.
Rounded to the nearest penny, $38.42. If you don't know that, you didn't do it on your calculator. Right? I don't want you just writing down my answer. I don't care about writing down an answer. I want you to type it in on your calculator and agree with her. And if you don't have the same answer, you're supposed to be brave enough to say she's way off. All right? Not that she ever is wrong, but all right? All right, let's take a look at number 9. All right, a computer game costs $49.95 plus 6.25% sales tax. What is the cost of the game? Quicker. Somebody new to the game, give me an answer. Mr. Osborne, what is the answer? I'm on number 9. Uh-oh. Charlotte's got you beat already. Tell him, Charlotte.
I got $53.07.
$53.07. How did you do that?
I multiplied $49.95 by 1.062.
You are amazing. Thank you for listening. Now, you are looking at your own self now and saying, I understand what he's saying, or man, I am lost. Help me out. You're allowed to say, help me out. Good.
Wait, what did you multiply it by?
Well, do you see the tax, 6.25%? So I want you to say 100% plus 6.25% is 106.25%, so that would be 1.0625.
Okay.
That make perfectly good sense.
Yeah.
Right, good.
I'm still lost. Like I just don't.
Well, $49.95 represents what? 100%. Plus, you have to pay tax, 6.25%. Can you add 100 plus 6.25? What is that?
106.25.
And what decimal if that's a percent?
You move it 2 spaces.
Right, so it's going to be?
So it's going to be 1.0625.
Now multiply that by $49.95. I don't know what you're asking me. Because you said everything correct.
Yep, I'm good.
All right, come on.
I'm getting the same answers because my mom taught me to do it. You have to find what 1% is, so you do 49.95 divided by 100.
Yeah, you can do that, but now we have a calculator, so I don't have to do that. All right, that's what the calculator is for. All right, we're on 11. Now we have to find the discounted price. Uh-oh, some of you are not thinking. You're just going to go a little crazy on me here. Do you want to pay more or less if you got a discount?
Less.
Okay, so now be careful. Tell me how to solve number 11.
I did 22.95 times 75%.
Yay! Thank you very, very much for listening.
And you get
This time you were supposed to pay what? 100%, but the store has agreed to give you a 25% discount, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they give you a 25% discount instead of paying 100%, you're only going to have to pay what? 75%. Come on, that is simple. So now you take $22.95 multiplied by 0.75, and the answer is
$17.21.
$17.21. Anybody agree with that? What?
So basically, it was decrease instead of increase.
That's how simple it is, right? Because you are paying you get a discount. You don't have to pay 100%. You only have to pay what? 75% of that. Nice, right?
Because 25%
from 100 is 75. That's exactly right. 100% minus 25% is 75%. Yes.
Okay, so you added 100 plus 0.75, right?
No. I just multiplied on my calculator 22.95 times 0.75. That's all I did. Try it on your calculator and see if that's correct. You okay? All right, here we go. Let's check out 13. Here we go. Quiet, please. Let's go. Come on, back on task. The more we do, the less we have. All right, it says, tickets to the county fair are $8 for an adult, $5 for a child. If you have a 15% discount card, how much would 2 adult and 2 child tickets cost? All right, I want it. Ready? 30 seconds. Go. Number 13, that's what we're doing. Number 13. Virginia, you already good. Wow. All right, tell me, what's the answer? $22.10. Anybody agree with that?
Yes.
Seriously. Everybody got that correct.
Yes.
Man, I didn't know I was that good. I knew I was good, but I did not know I was that good, right? All right.
I'm still figuring it out, but I'm sure I'll get it.
No, here we go. So listen, quickly. Since we want 2 of each, it would be $16 and $10 is $26. And now I only have to pay 85% of that. So it's just that times 0.85. And what was that answer again, Virginia? $22.10. Now, I'm assuming you guys are all right now.
Yep.
All right? I'm assuming you're right. All right, here we go. Just because we're having so much fun here, look at number 15. On 15, thank you.
60%.
Oh, wait a minute. My calculation is 37.5%. But I could be wrong because I'm doing my mental math.
What?
How did I do that mental math? All right, listen. I'll show you how simple that is, mental math, honestly. All right, listen to me. All right. First and foremost, the difference is obviously what? 6 out of what? 6 out of 16 is my answer. Now listen to me. Last year I told all of my 6th graders that in order for you to be great at math, there are some fractions that you should know. Everybody should know the tenths. Those are easy. 1/10 is 0.1. Everybody should know the ninths because those are easy. Those are repeated. So 1/9 is 0.1 repeating, 2/9 is 2 repeating, and so on. Then I said you should definitely know the fourths, which are easy. 1/4 is 0.25. 3/4 is 0.75. Most people know that. Then there are fifths that you should know. 1/5 is 0.2. 2/5 is 0.4. You should just know those. The other most common one are eighths. All right? I think everybody should probably write this down. You should know that 1/8 is 0.125. You will save yourself a tremendous amount of time if you know that 1/8 is 0.125. If you don't know that, type in 1 divided by 8 on your calculator, and it will tell you the answer is 0.125. You should also know that 3/8 is 0.375. If you don't know that, you can look in your calculator and see 3 divided by 8 is 0.375. You should also know that 5/8 is 0.625. And 7/8 is 0.875. You do that so much in math that you should just know those fractions. I would hope everybody in here could tell me what 1/8 is, 3/8, 5/8, and 7/8. All right? Now, once again, I've done it so much that I knew that that reduced to 3/8, and 3/8 we just discussed was 0.375, which I know as 37.5%. All right? That's why it's good to be good with those types of numbers. All right? The numbers that come up continuously, you should know if you want to be fantastic at math. And those numbers just always come up. All right. So who's paying attention now? Who can help me? Someone new now. Someone new. 17. All right. Carson, you with me? Tell me on 17. Do you have a calculator?
Yeah, I'm doing my iPad.
Good. Do it on your iPad. So how do I do this? Tell me what you're typing in on your calculator, buddy.
I got
Oh, you can tell me the answer. I'm totally fine with that.
0.771.
0.771. So that would be what percent? Hold on a second. Is that right? 77.1%? Is everybody roughly around there? Okay, so now you guys understand. Do the odds. I have the answers posted. If you're struggling a little bit, please take care of it. Tomorrow we'll finish. A great lesson for today. Really, really good lesson. All right? It's super, super easy.
Yeah,